back here with our Vacon X4, we're going to get into a little bit of the programming. So the very basic programming level 1, people get into on accident all the time because they just are button mashers and they just press stuff and they end up hitting program, and you can get in it. So first, you got your input. So on your input, we're going to hit shift to change it. We got local mode only, which means you can only control it from here, nowhere else. So then we can go up. This is, oh well, hold on. There, local only, remote only, which means you can only do it from a controller or something like a push buttons. LR remote reference. So this here would be like, you can still use your keypad for start, stop, and speed, but you can also have a remote keypad, or you can use the terminal strip inside here for some speed control. Then you got local remote control. So this here you can do, again, local, and on your remote you can do speed reference and you can do start stop. Then you got both, local remote both. So basically you can do everything locally or remotely, like speed reference, start stop, the whole mess, everything. Then we start getting into some really complicated ones. EMOP 2, local EMOP 2. We're not going to get into those. That's way more advanced than what we want. But the vast majority of things that we are going to want is local, remote control. And we're going to hit enter. So now let's go to the next thing in here. Reverse enable. So from the factory, this only comes with forward enabled. So in here, you hit shift up. You can do forward and reverse. For our application, I only want forward. Hit enter. Next thing, minimum frequency. From the factory is at 0. You can set that to whatever you want. Maximum frequency, so this is, again, the frequency that it will not run above. It's usually set 60 from the factory. Preset frequency, so this one gets interesting. So the preset frequency is what's used, it's referenced when you're trying to use the jog function. So let's get out of the program mode, back to here. So if you press jog, so now I pressed it so you can see the buttons light up, then you hit forward, it will just jog the motor forward. Or you can, I don't have reverse enabled, so we can't go backwards. But it's like so you can get a belt on or something. That is where you're referencing that frequency. So if you change that frequency here, that's going to spin a lot faster in jog mode. So I don't change it. The next one up, accel time. This is how long it does, you know, from stop to full running. Decel from full running to stop. Timed overload select. So this one here, this is the standard induction motor for 60 seconds. And if you want this to work properly, you have to go in and you have to set your motor FLA in here. So that way, otherwise this is just going to set whatever's from the factory for the FLA. So this is a 2-horse motor. It'll be, I don't know, 3 something amps. And that's what it will reference to say, oh, if it's over that for 60 seconds, we got an issue. We need to shut down, or overloads, basically. You can change this. There's other options, but that's the most common. VMET configuration. We're not going to get into this. This has to do with analog outputs. Relays, again, if you're controlling relays. So this is what it's saying as a drive fault. So relay 1, drive fault. So if the fault goes, or drive goes into fault, it will activate relay 1. So if you have a light or a siren or whatever hooked up to it. Drive run, so this will activate relay 2 when the drive goes to run mode. So again, if you have a light that you want to flash, something like that. Then you got the model number, and you notice now we're back into the V's. We're no longer P, something that you can program. We're into V's, so visual only. So these are just things you can look at. Last fault. This would be if it was running the output frequency, output voltage, output current. These are all good things to know exist. Just by pressing the program button, you can come and look at these. drive temperature, bus voltage. Now we're back to the beginning. So now we want to set the FLA and things like that. So that gets a little bit more complicated. So let's get out of here, program. The easiest way to get to it is we go hold program, we get into macro mode. So if you go up, we're gonna come back to those. So my rated motor voltage is 440. I already input that. This is what my FLA is. Again, this is all off the nameplate of the motor right here. Nameplate. 2.9. So we're gonna go up again. 1730 is what the RPM of this motor is. Motor RS is our stator resistance. So if we come up again, power factor. So you have to have RPM, FLA, and voltage entered from your motor to do this next step. So we're going to come up here to 519 and it says not active. So we're going to go to shift. We're going to hit motor RS and we're going to hit enter. So now that we're there, when we get out of here, we're going to see this this is what it looks like, which is different. Then we're going to hit the forward button. And this, what it's going to do is it's going to inject voltage into here with no frequency. So it's kind of an interesting deal. So now we go back to our program macro mode and we go back up to that RS, and it has just measured the motor, the resistance on the stator, and figured out it's 5.4 ohms. So now this here drive is configured to this here motor. It's going to be more accurate, it's going to be more efficient, the whole deal. So that's a pretty cool thing you can do with these drives. So now that we have that done, I'm going to hit program, get back out. Now we're going to get into a little bit more, a couple other things I just wanted to show you. So we're going to do program shift. That brings us into here. So I want to go to 509. So I'm going to hit the down button and the shift button. Hard to do one-handed. So there's our, if you want to do this in the programming, there's your rated voltage, your FLA, and your RPM. Now we're not going to get into midpoint frequency and things like that, but you can, all these programs settings that I've just went through, you can find in the program shift mode because it'll give you everything there. So this here is the very basics of how to program one of these, like what I use all the time, because most of the motors we use here are just, you start and stop them here, and if you want to increase them, decrease voltage, or not voltage, frequency, you can there. So we just hit forward, 0 speed. So now we're bringing it up. We want to go faster. So then we'll just hit stop. And I don't have reverse enabled because, so it won't go that way. And again, jog mode, hit that, and it just runs it for a sec.